Back now with my favorite list of the wintertime, the yearling list. And it's always nice to be able to look ahead, right? Especially in this year. It's such a terrible year. It's always nice to be able to look ahead, and that's exactly what we are going to try and do here. We're going to start with Almost There Boss. I went with Almost There Boss a couple of times this week. Track was a little firm. He was pacing good. He was on that left line. The split wasn't really something that we needed to cry out. We've been painting it. Put a Murphy blind on the outside of him. I thought the horse looked great. This is a horse that's got a great attitude. He's always doing his work well on the track. It's quite a change to see some of these horses when they're studs, to be out there with their ears pinned and not wanting to do the work and wanting to fight so much, and then have them castrated and have the horses go out, give them a full month, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then they get their ears up, they're doing the work, they're productive. It is quite a change sometimes, and it's been quite a change for Almost There Boss. He looked great all week. Amor Diener is a horse that is going to surprise everybody, surprise the hell out of me. I went with him. He was goofing off and being a tool and didn't want to do his work and just not paying attention. I put the hobbles on him, added some weight to him up front, went out the next day. Totally different horse immediately. He was very, very good all week. Very impressive all week, this horse. Arches Rainbow. She had a bit of a slow week last week. A little flat, a little dull, a little blah. I think she was maybe just a little bit sick. But she seems great the last few days. She looked good again yesterday. Better Be Sawyer looked fantastic in the drone the other day. She looked good all week. I really like the way this filly is looking. Blue Bayou Dio. I'm a little torn. Does she need a little weight added up front? I'm not sure. She rolled off in the middle of the straightaway training the other day. I'd like to see how she goes this week. Maybe I'll go with her Tuesday and Wednesday and see how she looks. Bomb Hugger. I noticed she made a couple of breaks in the turns on James. James is a little moody that I went with her the other day. I went with her on Thursday. I went with her. Tightened her hobbles up a bit and made her work through the turns. I don't like, and it's pretty simple. I can tell you exactly how my thinking is on this. Every day they're not doing it right is a day they're doing it wrong. I want them doing it right. And it doesn't mean they have to go out and train every day. It doesn't mean they have to go out and work hard every day. But whether they're going slow or fast, I want them understanding the work and doing it right. So that is where we're at with Bomb Hugger. She was fantastic on Thursday. Really happy with what I've seen from her. Century Invictus just looks great every day. He was on the bubble to be castrated. I was going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. Man, he just looks really, really good. We'll see how he plays out and this plays out over the next month or so. Confederate Cruiser looks good. Not a big colt, but he's got a real, real big gait for a little horse. I really like what I see in this guy. Duke Dio. Haven't seen much of Duke, right? Seen him a little bit. I've been very happy with how he's looked. Just has some visitors. Just going to call them over, but it's raining. So, Duke Dio, I haven't seen him, obviously, with this week in Shed Row 5 being locked down. He has been in Mario's barn. Him being a trickster, I imagine he'll find his way back up here at some point. We'll swap him out with something. But for right now, very happy with what I've seen from Duke Dio. I can't really say that I've seen too much of him. I'd like to see more of him. I will in the coming weeks. But for right now, it's business as usual for Duke Dio. LSL, just got a beautiful gait. He's another horse on the bubble. If he continues to pin his ears and wander all over the track, he's going to find himself castrated. But he was good this week. Danny O'Brien is back. Don't know if Danny's going to be able to stay with us full time. He's got 5 of his own horses. Plus, he's not a spring chicken. He did get hurt last year at the end of the year. So Danny's helping us out right now. But I don't know if it's going to be full time. But we're happy to have him right now for sure. He went with LSL all week and really liked him. Eyes at 10 just looks incredible every time she goes on the track. Really impressed with this filly. Garden State Dio, a little bit behind everybody else as she was late getting broken sick when she got here. But she looks good on the track also now. Grace. Now Grace won't be making the open house. Took her to the vet. OCDs in both her hocks and a little OCD hidden behind one sesamoid. They weren't sure whether the one from the sesamoid needed to come out, but the OCDs in the hocks should. She's going, actually, we got a really early, as you can imagine, this time of year, especially with COVID, a lot of these appointments are booked up and not available. We were lucky to get Path of Totality and Of Tom done last week. Grace is going to Toronto Equine. Now, they had done a number of things for us last year during the lockdown. So Toronto Equine and Orloff are going to take care of Grace's OCDs and her hocks for sure. I haven't heard an update on the sesamoid. We will see. Granite Hill just continues to look great. He's like a big, they call him big puppy dog. He's in there with his head over the gate and he'll lick your shoulder, and he's just a sweetheart of a horse. Very happy with what I've seen from him. Danny said, he wanders, you might want to put head pulls on him, and I'm not putting anything on him just yet. I'm going to let him do his work. But very happy with what I've seen from our boy Harlan, our boy Granite Hill. Harlan L looked good last week, still gets close to that knee, touches himself, gets out of gear, but he's growing, and he does have some speed to him, so I'm going to start with that. Aside from worrying about everything else, I'm happy with what I've seen from Harlan L so far. Harvard Yard, again, is over with Tim. I'd like to get some video updates throughout the winter of this filly. They say she's going nice and looks nice, so we'll see. Hill of Magic looks fantastic. Amy went with her the other day. I thought she looked really, really good. Kathy with an eye. Danny jogged her on Friday. I was beside him. I thought she looked really good on the track. This is a filly we haven't really buttoned down on. She's rolled off a couple of times. A big, strong Uncle Peter filly. Does she need more weight? She might need the hobbles. I don't know. I'm not worried about it just yet. Very happy with what I've seen from her so far. Loving Beauty is probably one of the most improved horses over the last 2 weeks. She looks very, very good on the track. Really happy with what I've seen from Loving Beauty. Luck of the Dragon was to the vet. I really thought we'd find something in that left hind, maybe an OCD somewhere. Clean bill of health. Clean slate right across the board. We changed his footwear to flip-flops up front, been sweating his feet, working on his feet, and lo and behold, he was much better on Friday. We do have a Murphy blind and a line pole on him, but he was running in the turn, so I think we'll even just take that Murphy blind off and leave the line pole on his neck. But he's looked good the last 2 days. Happy with the fluoroscope, happy with the way he's looked on the track, and happy with his attitude. Massive Profit has looked fantastic all week. Very happy with him, as I've been happy with Matt's MVP. Now, $1 Million Swan was a horse that we had castrated. His sack had filled up a bit. We couldn't go in the drone with him. He looked better on the track. He's another horse that kind of picks at himself, and until he finds his way and gets a little strength in the places he needs it, he's going to look a little lost on the track, but he'll come. Miss Mildred now has 4 shoes on. She had 2 all week, and she was jogging out there. She's the happiest little horse. This Sunshine Beach filly that was broke late because she cut her arm. She's only had the harness on way less than 10 times, maybe 5-6 times. We're going to put the hobbles on her on Monday, see if we can let her catch up a little bit. Maybe we can get her in a drone set for Friday. Mischievous Rose looks good on the track now. Johnny's gone with her the last 3-4 days. I thought she looked good. Of Tom got her OCDs out of her hocks. 2 weeks we'll start slowly walking her in the jog cart and then pick her back up into the jogging after that. 1-2 Skip a Few had her up to the vet. Clean bill of health, 100% across the board. She looked good on the track the last week also. Peanut Butter and Jelly, same thing. Perfect fluoroscope on her. She's pacing now and looks good. Prairie Fire, I put the hobbles on the other day and changed a little bit of his shoeing. He was goofing off being a tool on the track. After I put the hobbles on him, he seemed fine, so I'll button down on him this week also. Procrastinator, another horse. He was coughing a little bit yesterday, but he's another horse that we're working on getting cleaned up and getting him putting weight on and getting stronger. Good news is we did Baycox him a few times, and his strength in his tail is much, much better, so I think that's probably a good thing. The only bad news is we're going to have to probably continue to Baycox him throughout the winter. Purple Aura looks good. Now, as I said, she always carries a little more filling in her left hock than her right. Concerning, yes, but we will get that checked out in the next coming weeks. She trots great. You'd never know there was anything wrong with her. She's not on a shaft. She's not on a line. Even with Of Tom, she was over on the shaft, but Purple Aura isn't. So we'll put her on the last wave of horses to go see the vet. Renegade Gypsy, just a big, strong colt. Until we get real good muscle on him, he's going to be dopey and bumpy in the track. But like what I've seen from him, Resolute Bay looked great yesterday. It was really muddy, so it was tough to get a real good read on him. But I was happy with what I saw from him. Rose Above It ran a little bit on Danny training the other day, but at the drone, I thought the horse looked great in the drone. I'll go with him again this week, I guess. Rosie's Masterpiece, much like Renegade Gypsy, looks really good on the track. Big, strong horse, just finding her way. Slim Jimmy looked fantastic yesterday going. We just got to feed him a little speed, old Porky Jimmy. but he was really good on the track yesterday too. Spent looked great in the drone the other day. I didn't get to see him that much this week on the track, but looked so good in the drone. Man, he looked really, really good. Stonebridge Dolce is a work in progress. We had her to the vet, nothing found, so we started blistering her, working on her. She's coming now. We'll see how she trains down. Stonebridge Hikati, I thought he looked okay on the track the other day. I did see him make a couple little breaks in the turns. I'll circle back with Mario and see how he looks this week, and get a better feel for him. Sweet on Pete looked better yesterday on the track. I thought she looked a little blah, a little worn out on the track last week, a little tired coming off the virus. We'll see how she looks this week. 3 Point Blue Chip looked good. Very, very happy with him and everything he's done. Not that surprising, really. Taiwan on. She coughed a little bit last week too. We had some. We put her on some medication. We're working on getting her squared around also this week. Tioga Sunshine does her work well every week. Very happy with her. Twin Bee Habanero. Little splint to work on with this guy. We began painting it this week. He looks good on the track. Just very green, but he's coming. Twinkle in Her Eye looked good last week in the drone. Again, funny, she wanders a little bit on the track, but she does her work really well. Very happy with this filly and the way she's progressed since the day we broke her. Unbeatable Kemp, as I said on all the videos, Amy loves this colt, and she goes to them every week. Very happy with Unbeatable Kemp. There's no horses on here I'm unhappy with. All of them are working well or working towards working well. So very, very happy with the whole crew. You Gotta Believe, I went with him yesterday. Need a little bit of a lap or so to thaw him out, but I think he just needs to put some speed into him and he'll be fine. Voyage of Ice and Fire was great in the drone and has been great for the last few weeks. Will to Win Hanover again just looks fantastic. And Whirl for Two, I let him roll along a little bit the other day. He was very, very strong. Both him and Almost There Boss looked similar. Both just need, I think their knees bug them a little bit. They're both big colts. So we'll hang out around the 250 mark, 3-minute mark until first part of the year, and then we'll bring them down a little bit different from everybody else. If their knees are bothering them, we won't push. If their knees are good, then we will. But both these horses look very, very good to me. Very strong, big, strong animals. So World for Two, happy with him. That's all of them. That's the yearlings. You're going to see the open house this week. I'm gonna have to put my money where my mouth is this week, but I've been happy with, as I said, very, very happy with everybody working so far, and very optimistic about our 2021 crew. Take care.